So hi everyone, my name is Shanjida. I am currently at a second year student at UFT doing a human bio major. So today I'll be going over some commonly asked math questions and chemistry questions. And if you guys need any additional help, schoolwork related, or need tutoring services, please check the OpenClass link description box below of this video, and let's get started. So the first question here says solve x squared which equals 12x minus 15 by completing the square. So what we want to do first is bring everything to one side. So the easiest thing would be to bring the 12x to where the x squared is. So what I'm going to do here is just x squared minus 12x, because this is positive, and to bring it to the other side is going to become a negative, and this is going to be negative 15. And then what I want to do is, so when we are completing the square, we look at the middle term, so the second term over here, and what we do is divide this middle term by 2, and this is what we get. So negative 12 divided by 2, which equals 6. And so what we do, so this is the first step, is to divide by 2. Then the second step of completing a square is we take the square. Oh, sorry, this is going to be negative 6 because it's negative 12 over negative 12 over 2. So what we do here is we have to square negative 6. So the next step is to square negative 6, and what we get, so if we square a negative number, it's going to become positive, and so we get 36. And so what we do next is we rewrite this equation, as in this is what we do. We write x squared minus 12x, we leave the 12x, and then we add the 36 into our equation. So we add 36 to onto both sides, so negative 15. Okay, so x squared minus 12x plus 36 equals negative 15 plus 36. And so we can simplify negative 15 plus 36 even more, and so what we get is we get 21. Yes, we get 21. And so all of this, so then x squared minus 12x plus 36 equals 21. And then we want to find the values of x, and so we take 36. We basically take 36 and we basically take 36, and then we have this equation here, and then we do negative 12x plus 36. I'm gonna write this here. So we have x squared minus 12x 12 12x plus 36 equals 21. And then what we do, since we have this over here, this is basically a perfect square, and to factor this we would eventually get x minus 6 squared, which will equal 21. And so to get rid of the square, since we want to find x, we have to get rid of the square first, and then so we square root both sides, and so square root this, and then if we square root a number, this will become plus or minus, since a root number, after you root it, it will either be a positive or it could be a negative. And so then we can cancel the square root and the square. So what we get here is x minus 6 equals plus minus root 21. And so x, and we have to move 6 to the other side, so what we have here is x equal to 6 plus minus 21. And so this is our answer to find x. And yes, so this is the right answer they have got. And so this is the right answer. Good job. Okay. And so the next question we have here says, how do you solve the quadratic equation by completing the square? Okay, so what we have here is, how do you solve the quadratic equation by completing the square? Okay, so what we do here is it says x squared minus 6x minus 8 equals 0. And so what we do over here is we write an equation that says a to the x squared plus bx, so this is going to be minus bx minus c, and so, or we can write plus, my bad. And so what we have here next is we can basically rewrite this in a way that can form a formula. So we can rewrite this as x squared plus 2xy plus y squared, which is what they have got here, plus y squared. And so, this is basically x plus y squared. And so in order to complete the square, we know that c is equal to b over 2 squared. And so in this case, a from this equation right here, our top equation, A is equal to 1, B equals -6, and so B is equal to -6. C is equal to so C is equal to B over 2, which is -6 over 2 squared. So this is gonna be C is equal to 9. Yes, 6 divided by 2. Yes, so C is equal to 9. And so what we do afterwards is that we have x squared. If we were to substitute the numbers back into if you were to have these coefficients, so these a, b, and c represent coefficients, and we were to substitute the numbers in and have a new polynomial, it would be x squared minus 6x plus 9. And so afterwards we just have to factor this, and so we need two numbers that multiply to 9 and two numbers that add up to -6. So in this case we can have multiples of 9, which are only 3 and 3. So we know that 3 times 3 is equal to 9, both positive 3 and positive 3 multiplied into, and we get positive 9. However, if we have -3 multiplied by -3, it also equals positive 9. However, it also equals -6 as well. So what we're going to do here is we have x squared minus 3x plus 9, and so then we just common factor here, x minus 3, and we have -3, x minus 3, and so ultimately we get x minus 3, and so this equals x minus 3 squared. And so this is the answer. Oops, yes, so this would equal x plus minus 8. Okay, yes, I forgot a step. I have to add minus 8 here, plus 8, minus 8 plus 8, so almost got this, sorry. So what we have to do here is, since we have to also include the 8, which I completely forgot. So minus 8, and then we have plus 9 equals to 9, and so we have to take the 8 to the other side, and so we get x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 9 plus 8, and so x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 17, and so we know that this term is basically x minus 3 squared, which will equal to 17. And so if you square root both sides, x minus 3 squared and square root 17. Remember, there's supposed to be plus and a minus, because when you square root something, you will eventually get a plus and a minus, a positive or a negative number. And so this gets cut out, and we have x minus 3 equal to positive and negative 17, root 17, and so x will equal to 3 plus or negative root 17. So yes, this is the right answer. And so our next question number 3, says, what is the completely factored form of x squared minus 16xy plus 64y squared? Okay, so we have to first check if this trinomial is a perfect square. So we can do this by checking if the square of half of the coefficient in the middle is equal basically to the coefficient of the third term. So what we have to do here is basically we have to divide 16 over by 2, and so this equals to 8. And so to see if we square 8, if it equals 64, and eventually yes, 8 squared is 64. So we know that so this is a matter of perfect square, and so we can say that a is equal to 1, b is equal to 16, c is equal to 64. Sorry, it's equal to 6. Right, okay, 16. And c is equal to 64. And so we can rewrite this equation minus 16x plus 64. And so since it's a perfect square, we know that negative 8 times negative 8 is positive 16, negative 8 minus negative 8 is negative 16, so I could just show you the whole step. Minus 8x plus 64. Yes, so we have x minus 8 minus 8, x minus 8 over here. And so we basically get x minus 8, and this is basically x minus 8 squared. And so yes, we can completely factor this, and it's a matter of a perfect square. And so this is the right solution. Solution is correct. Okay. So our third. Yes. Okay, so sorry. Our fourth question says how do you factor x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. So x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6 equals 0. So how do you do this? So we want to first see if the coefficients of each term equals to 0. So if we do this, we can have 1, so the coefficient in front of x is 1, minus 2, minus 5 plus 6, if this equals to 0. So 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So negative 5 plus 6 is plus 1. So this ultimately equals 0. So we can say that x minus 1 is a factor. X minus 1 is a factor since it equals 0. minus 1 is a factor. And so we have to divide the given polynomial with its factor. So we're going to divide the whole polynomial by x minus 1. And so what we get, x cubed minus 2x squared minus 5x plus 6 over x minus 1. And so what we get is x squared. We basically get x squared divide this, we get x squared minus minus x, we get my x squared minus x. So I'll show you the full step. So x squared, so x cubed minus x divided by x is x squared. Negative x squared over x is just 2x, and then minus 5 minus 5 divided by minus 5x divided by x is just minus 5, and we just have plus 6x, and then we do the same thing with the other one. We have, I'll just rewrite this over here, sorry. We have x squared minus 2x minus 5 plus 6x, and then we can have minus x, so we have divided by minus x cubed, and then we do the same thing with the 1, and then we have positive 2x squared, and then we have minus 5x minus, so basically minus 6, and so this ultimately will equal to, sorry, I did something wrong here, hold on. So this will eventually equal to x squared minus x minus 6, and so if we combine this with our factor term, which is x minus 1, we get x minus 1 x squared minus x minus 6. So then we can further factor this, and to further factor it, we can find a number that multiplies to negative 6 and add to negative 1 basically. And what we do here, so I'll just write this over here. So the two numbers basically would be, since the multiple of 6 is negative 2 and negative 3, or for negative 6 it's going to be either negative 2 times positive 3 or negative 3 times positive 2. But since we have a middle term here and it says it's negative, this means that our biggest number has to be negative, whereas the smaller number has to be positive. So in this case, negative 3 would be negative and 2 would be positive. And then we have minus 6. So then we just factor this x, and then we have x minus 3 plus 2x minus 3. And so x minus 3, x plus 2 is our other, these are our other two factors. And so the roots basically of the polynomial is the roots are x minus 1, x minus 3, x minus 2. And so yes, these are the terms they get. So in this case, x would equal 1, x would equal 3, positive, and x would equal negative 2. Yes. Okay. So our next question says, use how to multiply x plus h cubed. Okay, so what we do here is we have to use special products in getting the product form. So since this is a cubic equation, we use, so I'll just write the question down. So x plus h cubed. So we have to use the formula a plus b cubed, and this is basically your a cubed plus 3a squared b plus 3ab squared plus b cubed. And so in this case, by substitution, we can say that in this case, if we were to represent it in x plus h, we can say that a is equal to x, b is equal to h. And so we just substitute wherever there's an a, we substitute x there, and substitute wherever there's a b, we substitute h. And so we get x cubed plus 3x squared h plus 3x h squared plus h cubed. And so this is the answer. Yes. Okay, so our sixth question says, what is the square root of 75? So square root 75 equals to what? So we need to first factorize 75. So finding common multiples of 75. So we can have a branch here, and then a tree. There's branches coming out, and find the common multiples of 75. So this would be basically the highest common multiples would be 25 times 3. And so we know we can further evaluate 25. So break down 25, which is 5 times 5. And so in this case, we take these, our lowest numbers, and we express this under a square root. 5 times 5 times 3, and so we can group these two 5's together, and we have 5 squared times 3, and so we know that if there's a square and a square root, they both cancel out, and so what we eventually have is 5 root 3. This is the correct answer. Okay. And so our seventh question says, how do you solve for y and 2x plus 3y equals 3? So to do this, how do you solve for y? So we need to isolate y and find an answer in terms of y. And so what we do here is we first move everything other than y to the other side. So the easiest thing we could do here is move the 2x to the other side where the 3 is, and we get 3y equals, since 2x is added, it's like in an addition form with 3y, we have to take it to the other side, so it will become a negative, so a subtraction, so 3 minus 2x, and so to move the 3 from the y, we have to divide it with the other terms on the other side of the equal sign. So y is equal to 3 minus 2x over 3, and so this is basically the answer. And so we want, whenever we're isolating any variable, we want it to be positive, so it's not too it's not too difficult to observe, or like, no, so positive numbers are pretty are better. So okay, so they further simplified this, so we can further simplify it by y. You just divide it by 3, so 1 minus 2, 3x. They're both the same thing. Yes, okay. Correct answer. Good job. Okay. 8th question. Okay, so how do you factor how do you factor 4x squared minus 4x plus 1? So this is 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. So to get the factors of this polynomial, all we have to do is rewrite the first term as a square expression and the second term as a product of the first so we have to write, like, for the middle term for 4x, we have to write this, we have to express this as a product. So what we can say here is this equals to 2x squared for the first term, whereas minus 2 times 2 times x plus 1, so we just leave the 1 there. And so this resembles this formula, a minus b squared, so where where basically if we were to express this as a minus b squared, we can, since we divided the first two terms by 2, we can write this as a difference of squares. So in this case, so our a would be 2 and our our a would be 2x. So a in this case would be 2x, and b would be basically -1. Since this is negative, because our middle term is negative, so that's how we got a minus b squared. And so this would basically, if you were to express this at a minus b squared, it would be 2x minus 1 squared. So this is how you factor 4x squared minus 4x plus 1. And yes, this is the correct answer. Okay. So the next question says how to isolate, solve for r in the formula c equals to 2 pi r. So over here we're also isolating. In this case, everything is in a multiplication state, so we're solving for r. So what we want to do is the same thing, to move 2 pi to the other side and isolate r basically. And what we can do is we can basically, to get rid of 2 pi r to 2 pi, we can divide. Since it's in multiplication, it's multiplied, we have to divide to get rid of it on both sides. And so this gets cut out, and so we have r, we have c equals 2 pi, c over 2 pi is equal to r. So this is what r is equal to. Yes. Yeah, r is equal to c over 2 pi. Correct answer. Okay. Okay, number 10. It says, okay, so if x plus y is, if x plus 3, is divided by 3 equal to y plus 2 over 2, what is x plus 3 equal to? So what we want to do, we want to get what x plus 3 is equal to. And so this requires some steps, but if you just know how to isolate, so what we need to do is basically isolate x plus 3. That's what they're telling us to do. So x plus 3 over 3 is equal to y plus 2 over 2. So we want to basically get x plus 3 by itself. So what we can do here is basically get rid of the 3 underneath and put it on the other side. So we can do this by multiplying 3 on both sides. Is equal to 3y plus 2 over 2. And so this gets cut out, and then we have x plus 3 equals 3y plus 2 over 2. So then what we do here, we can further expand this and get x plus 3 equals, so the 3 is multiplied with the numerator, not the denominator. So we have 3y plus 6 over 2. And this is what x plus 3 equals to. Okay, yes, the answer is, this is the correct answer. Solution is correct. Okay. So our next question says, how do you condense 3 ln 3 plus ln of 9? So what they mean by condense is basically they want us to get the answer of this. So condensing means what does this equal to? So in order to solve this, we call the properties of logarithm functions. So we know that we have, number one, the product rule, which is basically ln of a, not ln base a, ln of a, so a number ln of a, plus ln b is basically ln of a times b. And so the power rule, whereas the second one is a power rule where we have b, so a coefficient ln a, not base a, is basically ln of a power of b. And so you can probably guess we have to use the product rule in this case, and to simplify we can basically say we have to use both these rules. And so we can say that 3 ln of 3 plus ln of 9 is equal, sorry, I'll just write this. So sorry, 3 ln 3 plus ln 9 is basically ln 3 cubed. So over here we are using the power rule, so the second rule, and then we have plus ln of 9. So, and then in this second case, so this resembles something like our product rule, where we have two terms that are adding. So we use the product rule in this case, and so we can say, so this is 1, and so we get ln, and so we multiply, so don't simplify yet, ln 3 cubed times 9, and so then you can further simplify, so it's 9, so sorry, it's gonna be 3 cubed, which is 27 times 9, and so this is gonna equal to 27 times 9, 243, so ln 243. So therefore we have 3 ln 3 plus ln 9 is equal to ln of 243. And yes, this is the answer. Is the correct answer. So keep in mind the product rule and the power rule when dealing with logarithm functions, and they'll be good to go. Solution is correct. Okay, so our next question says, what is the molar mass? So this is question 12. Okay, so question 12. We have, what is the molar mass of calcium? So molar mass is denoted as Mn. So I'm just writing Mn of calcium. So the molar mass of calcium, you can you can search this. This is usually given in the periodic table. This is actually given in the periodic table, which is about 40.08 grams per mole. Okay, I'll just write here grams per mole. So what this means is 1 mole of calcium. So we only have like 1 mole, like 1 mole of calcium would equal to basically about 40 grams. So when you're dealing calcium. Yeah. Okay, so when you have an equation and they say they have an equation and so basically the mole is represented by the coefficient. So for example, if I have 2Ca plus, let's just say something else, like another element, let's just say X. So to find the molar mass of this, so you just have to multiply 2 times 40.08, which would be approximately around 80 grams per mole. So this would be the molar mass of 2 moles of calcium, and this is how you get, that is the molar mass of calcium. That's one mole of calcium is 48 grams per mole. Okay, correct answer. Good. Okay, so what is the molecular mass? Okay, so we usually say molar mass in this case. Not really. Okay, wait for KOH, potassium hydroxide. Okay, so M molar mass of K, so potassium, KOH equals what? So basically the molar mass of, so you can get this from a periodic table, and it's gonna be given on a periodic table. So molar mass of potassium. So first off, we need to find the molar mass of potassium, which is 39.098. And then, so the second step would be to find the molar, so we would treat hydroxide as oxygen and hydrogen. So molar mass of oxygen is it's around 15.999, and then for hydrogen 3, molar mass hydrogen is equal to 1.00784. And to find the molecular mass of this whole thing, we just have to basically add all of this, and so we get 39.098 plus 99 plus 1.00784. We get around approximately 56.1 grams per mole. 56.1 grams per mole. Okay, yeah, this is the correct answer. It's the correct answer. Good job. Okay. Okay, so what is, okay, so the next question, 14, says, what is the structure of a formaldehyde? So a formaldehyde, so it's an aldehyde, well, I'll just write up, okay, so formaldehyde is the simple structure of an aldehyde. It is an organic compound and it is characterized as colorless and it is in a gas state. So the structure of this is basically C with a double bond and it has hydrogens. So this is formaldehyde. Yes. Aldehyde. And so the chemical formula for this is CH2O with a double bond. So this is a double bonded O. So the difference between this and a ketone, I'll just add this in. So basically a ketone is where there are a ketone is basically, so if I were to draw a ketone, you will get mixed up if you see a ketone. So a ketone, I'll just mention it over here. Ketone would also have a C double bonded O, but the substituents, so the branches of what carbon is attached to, would be different. So it wouldn't be hydrogen, it would be some other carbon or an R group. R groups are like long chains of carbons. So a formaldehyde will have two H's, so a hydrogen substituent on both sides. So this is how you can distinguish a formaldehyde from, let's say, a ketone. And so I think they have given, okay, yeah, this is right. I think they have given a formaldehyde picture, which, okay, so yeah, but I provided a picture of it. So it's a double bonded oxygen with a carbon and only has like one carbon. So that is the molecular formula for that. And so that was the end of today's session. If you really liked this Q&A, give this a thumbs up and subscribe to the OneClass channel and share this video with your friends, family, and if you have any personal questions, you can ask them in the description links below. And other than that, I'm Shanjida. I'll be hoping to see you soon. Bye bye.